Hey guys, Kev here, and I am ready to give you first impressions and a disassembly of the Oz Machine Company Roosevelt. I also just got today these Delrin bearings in I ordered. I got an extra set for Jake. This is Jake's knife, Bearded Gear, so shout out to Jake. And this was from a previous batch where he still used steel bearings. They're steel caged steel bearings, I can show you. Oh, they're in the box. I kept them. I already took this apart and put in Gillian's to see what it would do. These are the bearings that come with the knife. Steel cage, steel bearings, which it works, but I think ceramic at this point is known to be better. But yeah, so I switched it out to Gillian's just to see, because that's what I had. And I will say the action improved a good bit, I'd say. I also cleaned it, but it wasn't dirty. But Oz Machine Company now uses these bearings in his knives. They come stock with Delrin bearings. So I figured I could hook Jake up and put them in. It's the least I could do for him letting me check this bad boy out. So let's take a close-up look. This has the golf putter milling on it, which is really cool. It's supposed to mimic like the side of a putter. So like, you know, where you would hit the ball with would be like right here. That's the kind of design or whatever pattern you see on a golf putter. I always thought it meant it looked like a golf ball, but I'm an idiot, so there's that. I will say right off the bat from doing the disassembly yesterday, it's super easy. It's very, very simple. I will say one weird thing is this pivot. It just spins. Like I am spinning it right now. It's weird. I don't know why it does that, but it is dead centered. At least it was. Oh, it feels kind of loose, actually. Hang on. Yeah, it feels loose. Weird. Wonder what happened. Maybe it needs Loctite. Alright, so hang on. I wanted to do my first impressions first, but I guess we could do it after. So, it's a T15 on the pivot. I need two of them because it's a spinning pivot, which is not ideal, but, you know, whatever. T10, T10, T20. Here we go. T15. All right. So yeah, it's T15 on the pivot, and then it's gonna be T8 on the hardware. So let's do this. I'm gonna get out KPL. Let's get everything out here that we need. We got the bearings. Okay. So just to check the pivot, let's see. I think it probably just loosened a little bit. Yep, that's all that happened. I don't know how it happened, but anyway, so dead nut centered when it's actually tightened. And no play. So like I was sitting here just having a blast, but you can still spin it. It's so weird. I don't know why. Spinning pivot, but whatever, it works. You know, there's no play, none of that stuff. So whatever, however he wants to do it, is fine. Dead nut centered. It's an absolutely gorgeous knife. I gotta remember to try to tighten the clip down when I get in there, because it does have the slightest bit of movement. You have that Z-Finite blade with this nice Stonewash finish. This is actually a very, very nice Stonewash. Normally I'm not into it. Another knife I have with this similar finish is the Quiet Carry Drift in G10. It kind of has a similar look to it. And I'd say I much prefer the way he finished this to that. Not that I don't like this, but, you know. And then the Field Duty EDC is another knife that's very similar. And it's just a different type of Stonewash. And again, I prefer this because somehow it's closer to a satin to me. I don't know. It is a pretty small knife, honestly. I didn't realize that. This is, I think, 3.5 inches, but then 3.25 on the blade, something like that. That drift I just showed you is a 3-inch blade. Maybe that's a better comparison. Just so you guys can see, because I think a lot of people think this is a large knife, or at least a normal size knife. I guess that's a stupid term. They think it's a medium-sized knife or whatever. I think it's actually on the small end. I mean, you're looking at a 3-inch blade. You know, in my unboxing, I was thinking 3 1/4, but it is the size of a quiet carry drift. Look at that. Might even be a touch smaller, to be honest. So that's a great size comparison there. Let me get a pair of 3 out, because I know a lot of people have that, and it'll help. So there you go. Let's line it up, pivot to pivot. The pair of 3 is a bigger knife. So if I go like center mass or whatever, you know, pair of 3 is a bigger knife than the Roosevelt. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, the action. There's no lock stick, none of that. The bar moves out of the way. So easy, the lock bar. There's 2 detent balls in there. I can't wait to check that out. Left-handed, flick, bang. I mean, it works. You just have to get a little bit low. You can be on the lock bar, just not like up here, you know, hugging it. You can be on it a little bit, but you hear how strong that is because I'm putting a little pressure on it. Right-handed, it's not like that. It just shoots out. Detent is solid, guys. It is close to perfect. I would want it a little stronger, I think. But, I mean, I'm really nitpicking. You can fail it if you get it in the right kind of, you know, angle or whatever. But it's nearly perfection, guys. It's not quite like field duty perfect, but, I mean, it's as close as it gets pretty much. You can thumb flick it very easily left-handed. You just got to give it a good flick. If you try to push out, you're going to fail it, right? That's not what it's meant to do. You're supposed to push up. The hole is excellently designed. I love the look of that hole. Really grabs you and pops. You don't get caught like sliding up it and then like, you grab it right where you put your finger and it bangs. Again, right-handed, thumb flick, same thing, works so easy. And then the reverse flick. I've tried front flipping it. It doesn't work well for me, so no luck there. None of this is above the pivot, so that's probably why. You can see the blade design is absolutely sexy. Very, very thin stock, and it just gets thinner and thinner out to the tip. This jimping is really nice. It's not rough. It's not soft. It's just perfect. Even though my hand doesn't really use it, I'm up here. I choke up and I'm like this, and I'm locked in. I did cut a couple of labels out with this, and I was not impressed, sadly. This is not a great label cutter because you just have a lot of belly up to the tip. So it's just, you're just using a lot of belly there. You're not going to get deep and get a bunch of labels at once. And the tip is not really that pokey. Now, I don't know if Jake used the shit out of the tip and whatever. It's obviously serviceable. It's going to cut into plastic and such. Here we can test it on this, I guess. Do I want to waste that? Do I have anything else? Whatever. So you poke and drag, and you can see, yeah, see, it didn't even make it through that. But if I give it a little bit of gas, it's going to go in and slice perfectly, right? So it is what it is. It's just not the best tip, in my opinion. But this is a used knife. Although it feels very, very sharp. Feels like a factory edge. Feels like a great edge. Okay. Action on Gillian bearings, okay? Drop. You can see it like do a double bounce and just very smooth to the close. Drop. Very smooth to the close. Left-handed. Get past whatever there is. Let's see. Is there anything to really... Nope. You can't really get stuck on this one. Once you break, you break, okay? Get to here, give it a little shake, 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 shake. Very, very smooth. Gillians have been in there for less than 24 hours. So, I mean, if you sat here and played with this for a week, I'm guessing these bearings are just going to get even better. They're already buttery smooth. The thumb roll on lefty is so freaking nice. It's actually kind of addicting. I'm not a thumb roll guy, but man, that feels good. It's very, very smooth, partially because of the bearings, mostly because of the design and the pivot design. Slow roll right-handed, I can't do it because I'm on the lock bar. It's so hard. I don't know if a righty would be better at it. You just get on the clip maybe. You know, worked really well lefty. But yeah, look at that close. Just pop up. So let's see what happens when we get in there with Gillian. So I may need 2 of these to get in there. Nope, I got it. It broke right away. And in a weird way, I don't understand sometimes why they put the pivot through this side and then have it come off, the lock side come off. I don't know if it really matters, but I find it weird sometimes. I feel like the show side should be coming off, but I'm going to pay attention. Very simple construction, very good tooling on these screws. All you need to do, watch this. See that? Just popped apart, ready to go. And bearings are falling out. The knife's coming apart. I mean, it's just absolutely well made. You're going to see the internal milling in here. And I apologize, guys. I am very excited. So if you can't tell in my voice, put the Gillians aside. And we'll get to the Delrins in a second. So here's your blade. So Oz Machine Company, number 209. And that's it. There's your 2 detent ball holes, which is interesting. That's the next thing I wanted to look at. Right here is your stop pin. Very simple stop pin. And there's your 2 detent balls. They're not flattened, I don't think. Are they? No. So, to me, I don't... And, you know, you guys can school me. You guys always do in the comments. Is it a Grimsmo Norseman type situation where he has 2? He has one for open and one for close, and it helps with lockup and adjusting. I don't know why he does it this way. But I really like it. The acoustics are great. The detent is great. All of it's great. Look at the milling in here. That was one of the things that caught me right away with this knife. It is so lightweight, guys. This thing weighs nothing. Again, it is a smaller knife, but still, is this a T8? I'm going to see if I can tighten this, but I'm going to be careful. Yeah, it does not really want to move, and I don't want to mess with it. I can give it a little tiny wiggle. It's not a big deal. Do I want it to be stationary? Yes, but, you have one screw. Maybe the cutout needs to be a little deeper in the scale, but it's not the end of the world, and I'm just not going to, I don't want to break that screw or anything. It's not my knife. One thing it's interesting to note is the bearings run right on the titanium. So there's no washers in this knife. I thought that was strange. I think maybe it's because of how thin the knife is, and adding those would have made it thicker. So that's my theory. So the pivot was in here, right? Yeah. All right, let's get to it. So KPL, just a little dab there, dab there. We already have KPL everywhere from before. Again, these are the bearings he's now using stock, so I don't think anybody's going to mind. Had to do a little finagling when I got the Gillians in. It's like the knife didn't want to go back together as easy. It eventually did, but like you saw when I took it apart there, it just kind of spread apart. I don't know if that had anything to do with the bearings or if that's just how this knife is. I didn't try putting it back together with stock bearings, so I don't know. Stop pins in there. Such an easy build, guys. I mean, this is like, it's literally like making a sandwich here. Pop, pop, pop. Everything pops in. There you go. See, no spreading. I'm not forcing anything, right? It's all just together at this point. I think that's a little bit better than it was before. I'm tempted to Loctite this, just because of what happened there earlier. So I am going to do that. I'm just going to put the tiniest dot on it. Of course, then I can't use it for a while, so it has tooling on both sides, so there's no reason that Loctite would be bad for it. So just putting the tiniest little smidgen on there. I know Jake does not take his knives apart very often, so once I get it together, it's bound to stay together for a while, as long as we like the action on the on the Delrins. So, oh. Interesting. There we go. Not forcing anything. Nice and easy. If anybody's wondering, this knife is $500 stock. I believe this is a stock variant of the knife. We have a little bit of play there, so we just need to tighten it down a little. Wrong one. Okay, still a little bit of play. See, it's being weird. It's like, this is what I remember happening with the Gillians at first. It's like I think it's just the bearing isn't seating. And you have to just make sure it does. And then you're good. There, I think I got it. Just being extremely careful. Not just gonna start cranking on stuff. There we go. Looks like everything. Yep. Looks like we're good now. Yep. Don't feel anything. Just tightening these to tightness till I feel resistance, and then I'm done. No play of any kind. Let's see if it bounces like it did with the Gillians. It does. Oh yeah, okay. Bangs out. No lock stick of any. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Very similar, I'd say. Maybe ever so slightly better. I hear something in there. I don't know what that is. You see that? Oh, it's one of the detent holes. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot heavy. Let's see, that should help. Put a little bit on each detent ball. Let it break in real quick. I mean, you can see how smooth it is, so I don't think we have any issue there. I can hear it. You hear that little bit of... It's just ceramic. Pretty sure that'll just wear in more and more. Can't remember if it was there before or not, so I don't really feel like taking it apart to check. It's not gritty. Smooth as all get out, so... oh yeah, look at that. That's butter. It's probably about the same. Okay, yeah, it's bothering me. I can't help it. I gotta go take a look. Yeah, so I found recently a few knives now in a row where the Delrins were actually the better option, where Gillians were before. And it just really comes down to the knife, you know? It's just kind of how it works. So I'm trying to see if there's anything in there. Let me do this. I'm going to wipe everything down. And I'm going to start over. I know you guys are really excited to see me start over on this. Just felt like there was something somewhere, you know. It's a real good way of putting it, right? Just going to clean every surface that I can. Trying to figure out what the cause of that. I'm guessing it's just ceramic. Maybe the bearing breaking in or whatever. They do have to break in. They have to break into this titanium. Although there's already a path from the previous one, so it's not as bad. But I like how he mounts the insert from the inside. That's unique. Usually you see a little screw right here. It gives it a nice clean look. You just see the head of the screw, and he uses titanium so he can anodize it or color it the same way as everything else. That's actually very smart. All right, let's do this one more time, all right? Almost got some right in the pivot. We don't want that. All right, we're on. Put a little bit of heavy. Let's do this. Bop, bop. Boop, boop. A little bit of that. A little bit of love everywhere. All right. See if maybe I can get this to just sit in the pocket. And maybe it'll be easier to put together this time. I don't know what that's all about. Hang on. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes this pivot just acts weird. I don't know what the deal is with it. That was interesting. I don't know why it's not threading into the pivot. There it goes. I was wondering what that was about. Huh. Almost done. No blade play, nothing. No stick. Very smooth. and that it's still there a little bit, but I think that's just gonna break in. It is what it is. I'm gonna clean everything off. You can still spin it. All right. Yeah, I don't know if it's better than the Gillians. Yeah, I think it might be slightly. So, but that's what he prefers in it. So it makes sense to have that in there. So anyway, there you go. That's the Oz Machine Company Roosevelt Disassembly and twice reassembly. Look inside, first impressions, and bearing swap. So appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate Jake for letting me check this out. I'll wrap it up with a full review in about a week, and we can go from there. So, yeah, I love you all. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.